Okay, the next one is this one. Right, this is our end bearing on this side. It goes in this end. Right. That's our bearing. Okay. So now what we need for that is a socket the right size, like that. More grease. Just a tiny little smidge around the outside edge, so that when we're pushing the bearing in, it helps it to go into place easier without it galling the aluminium. Right. That in there. The reason I should use a bigger socket is because, I'll show you, because socket bearing, when you're pushing a bearing in, you want the pressure to go on the outer race. Now if you use that end of the socket, there's a danger it could slip off. So if you use the flat edge, it's more likely to stay where it is. That's just experience, that. Right, okay. So that goes on there. Flat edge against it. You must be pressing against the outer race. If you're not pressing against the outer race, you'll damage the bearing. So as you can see, the bearing's in, but it's not quite in far enough. We've just got to go a little bit further because there's a circlip that goes in there. Okay, as you can see now, the bearing's all the way in. You can see the groove. You can see the groove there where the circlip sits. So the next job is pop that circlip in. So there's the circlip in its home. There's the outer bearing in. You can see through the hole the inner bearing race. That's this side done. Now we need to turn it over and do the other side. Okay, so we've got our needle roller. So first things first, just like the other end, smearing a grease on the inside, just stop the needle roller galling the aluminium. Okay, pop our needle roller in, and a large socket this time on there, so that it pulls against the flat of the bearing. Right folks, what I've got here, I've got a tool that I use for undoing fork legs. Actually it is. Sometimes the inside of the fork leg has got a hex in it, and I bred that socket in there basically to make it an easy. Oh, why am I waffling? Right, okay, stop. Okay, so we put our socket. This is a tool I made for something else, but it seems it's going to work for this as well. That's perfect. Right, in there. Like that. Okay, there you can see the first bearing pushed all the way to the shoulder. Enough space in there for the second bearing to go alongside it. Okay, onward and upward. And there you can see our two roller bearings are in place at this side, and at the other side got our roller bearing and our plain bearing with the circlip. Okay, the only thing that remains is to put some grease on those bearings when we fit the okay, so that's all in place. All we need to do now is pop our collar in like that. That's done. Okay, that's it. Some rubber seals to go on, but we'll pop them on before we put the grease in. The final job is to pop the bearings in there. There's a couple of bearings that go in there. They're smaller ones. Don't know what I've done with them. Hang on a minute. Here they are. Slightly smaller needle rollers. So that's the next job. Okay, so folks, as you can see, bearings are in place. They're recessed enough to take the oil seals. That little plastic insert there is to protect the bearing, so we'll remove that before we fit it. So we're more or less there. So what I'm going to do next, I'll crack on and get this done. We'll take them plastic inserts out, we'll fit the grease nipple in the top, which goes in there, and fit the oil seals, grease that up, and there's a collar to go in it, which is that one there. That goes inside there, and then we're there. Okay.